You're on.
Give me a chance to.
You're on.
Oh, you got signs in back of this.
Yeah, I do. And we're on. Good morning.
Good morning. We're running a little late. Sorry about that. Thank you for joining us. This is another session with Breakfast with Senator Cook. So thank you for joining us. It's going fast.
I know, we have 10 days. I don't know about you guys, but we are counting down the days.
They are just moving fast, but a lot of fun. Met a lot of great people as I've been out knocking on doors and going to different events. We have some incredible people here in Bonneville County, and it's exciting.
Yeah, we do. So today I want to cover a couple of things.
All right, let's do it. Sure.
Okay.
Let's see.
So
She's
number
going to put me
one,
on the spot.
I am.
All right.
Why should people vote for you? And then the second thing, how do you think the campaign's going?
Oh boy, I have to pull out my crystal ball.
Okay, so why should people vote for you?
All right. Well, that is a great question. And so, you know, I have, instead of making promises, let's just go with my record. I think that would probably be better here's what I've done. We don't need to talk about any promises that I'm making, but use my record. And so let's look at that. So first off, I served as the co-chair on the Economic Outlook Committee. That committee, its whole purpose is to decide on a revenue, proposed revenue for the next year. Kind of like, this is how much money we believe the state of Idaho will pull in. Got to know that, and then we start doing the budget. So I was the co-chair on that, and we came back with an adjusted estimated rate or estimated money of under $1 million, $100 million less than what the governor had said. So what does that mean? That means we believe we have less money to spend instead of more. Less money is good. If we have a surplus, great, because we have that surplus eliminator that sweeps off any excess money, and it will go to our education, to our facilities. So that's a good thing, because in the long run, that will affect your property tax. So that's one thing I worked on, and I worked very hard and held steady on that, because there was a lot of pressure to raise that, just that revenue. A lot of pressure, and I said, no, we're going to do it. And this is, well, we don't have enough money for all of our programs. Well, then kill the programs. We don't need the programs. Let's keep it down low. And so I really, really held the line on that. Next, one of the things we did, let me just maybe give you a picture overall. Overall, we had $3.8 billion, that's with a B, $3.8 billion accumulative tax relief over the last 5 years. That's money that's went directly back to you as taxpayers. Wow. So that's $3.8 billion.
Wow.
Pretty awesome.
Wow.
Okay, and there's a $914 million ongoing that's going to hit your account, taxpayers, every year. Okay, so that's ongoing. $914 million. Okay, this is my record. These are not promises. This is my record that I'm telling you about. Okay, overall budget increase this coming fiscal year of 2025 is 1.7% increase over last year. That's less than the inflationary rate of 3.5%. So we really worked on that budget to keep it low, which we had to, because we said, this is our proposed revenue. You can't go. We have to balance the budget. That's a constitutional demand here in Idaho. Got to balance the budget. It'd be nice if we had that on the federal level, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
okay? We don't, though. Okay, so that is where that's coming from. So we had to stay lower than what we proposed, and that's why I really held the line on that revenue. So we were below that. In fact, we have an estimated surplus of about $180 million left in the bank. If all goes well, $180 million sitting in the bank for if something goes wrong that we need. So we
like a rainy day fund?
Yes, just sitting there. Okay, and that's not counting our rainy day. So speaking of the rainy day funds, we have put we have packed them full of money as much as the law will let us. So there's statutes that says you can only have this much percent of your general fund in a rainy day fund, and we've got those full. Right now they are full. And so if this turns, if the Biden economics turn bad, which they are, we've got some stuff there in place to help us to get through them. Okay. Let's see. ITD budget. That was another big budget that just, really ripped me this year. But it was an important one. So on that one, we saved $110 million.
Wow.
So that's $110 million we didn't spend that will go back to you. Okay. Also, today we have an income tax rate of 5.8%. Let's see, let me back up. 2009, we had an income tax of 6.925%. That was your income tax rate.
So about 7%.
Yep.
Okay.
And 7 brackets. So depending on where you were at, this is how much you pay. Okay. Well, we're down today to a tax rate of 5.8% income tax rate and a flat rate. So everybody has a flat rate of 5.8%. So
That's
have really,
huge.
It is.
Why?
It really is huge.
Why are we focusing on those kind of things, the tax savings and the tax credits and the things that...
Good question.
that you guys are giving us back? Because I know our budget is really hurting from inflation.
It is. And so just think, if we weren't doing that, if we were just spending everything that we got and just did a take and never gave back, we would be hurting. The number one thing that out of all the crap that's going on in the nation and in the state, the number one thing I heard was property tax.
Oh.
Property tax.
Well, yeah. In fact, when we got our property tax notices, everyone in the county was complaining. But as a real estate agent, and I've been looking at 2023 taxes as I do property profiles for people, they're way less than even what 2022 was, and we were given a discount in 2022. So you guys really have given it back to the people. We have really, really tried hard to do that. And it's taken a lot of work, a lot of negotiation, compromising with everybody to get that back. Because everybody has their sweet little baby, their program that they want. And we really tried to squish that and say, no, let's give this money back to those who belong to it, who earned it, who worked hard for it. It's always hard to stay in a budget anyway, but that's pretty impressive. I think so too. Good job.
I think we have, that's a good record. That's a record to go on. Okay. So those aren't promises. That's what you've done. What I've done. Good job. Okay. Good job, honey. All right. Thank you. I've got one person voting for me, maybe. Woo! Vote Senator Cook. All right. Or Kevin Cook. All right. So what have you done to limit the growth of government? Okay. That's another big thing. In fact, that's on our Republican platform, is limiting the growth of government. We don't want a huge government doing everything for us, right? Yeah, but we got some kind of flyer in the mail saying that you had like 1,600 positions that you created this year, and you're growing the government. So what's that about? All right, good question. So yes, there was a statement out there that said Senator Cook was responsible for growing the government by 1,600 new employees. And when I saw that, I took it as truth. And so I called the Department of Financial Management. I called the Joint Finance Appropriations Committee budget analysts. I called the governor's office. And I said, where has this 1,600 come from? Tell me about it. What have I done? And they come back and says, we have no idea where that number's coming from. No idea whatsoever. So I'm going to be totally transparent with you here. Okay? We did grow the government, but let me explain some of that. All right? So first off, there's 300 prosecuting attorneys. They are on the payroll of the counties. Okay? Counties across the state. Right? We took those 300 county attorneys and took them off the county payroll and moved them to the state payroll. Okay. Well, that makes sense. I mean, look at what the trial is right now with the Daybells. That would have killed. Is it Madison County or Jefferson County or both? I'm not sure. Yeah, because it was, which one? But that would have really affected those taxpayers if that stayed at a county level. It would. So that makes sense that was transferred to the state. You got to think about what does that do to you, though, as a taxpayer? Okay? You got to remember the state does not collect property tax, nor does it spend property tax. Your property tax was paying for those 300 prosecuting attorneys. So we took them off of the county payroll, away from your property tax, and moved them to the state payroll. So yeah, we grew the government, or did we eliminate the government? Or is it sixes?
Transferred.
We transferred is what we did. So yeah, so it did not grow the government,
But it saved us money by doing that.
Saved
it saved
some money.
the taxpayers money.
So it's a good thing, and yet it's coming across as, oh, you're growing the government. And well, no, we're not. We're trying to help you with your property tax. Okay? All right, another one. Division of Medicaid. They asked for 60 new employees. I think, whoa, 60 new employees. Well, in the end, I believe we gave them 15. So here's something to think about, though. The Medicaid, Division of Medicaid, they have the sickest of the most sick people physically and mentally. And I know I'm not doing that. It's probably politically incorrect. I'm sorry. But they have people that really have some physical and mental problems, okay? And they're dealing with
some health challenges.
Yeah, some health challenges, all right? And so the Medicaid is dealing with those. So we look at how much money we put in Medicaid, and you think, gosh, there's got to be a way to do better and to save some more money. So what I looked at is, let's go look at the private industry. How is a private industry? So, for instance, Blue Cross of Idaho, okay? They have about the same number of clients as we serve in Medicaid.
Okay, that's a good analogy. Okay.
And yet, we, the Medicaid, has the biggest health challenges. That's the patients we have, all right? Blue Cross of Idaho, they probably have the best, okay? And so they're trying to take care of that. So that's what you're comparing against, first off, all right? Now, if you look at the Blue Cross of Idaho, they have 150 employees that are main purpose is to look at the contract to make sure that the contract is being true. They're being true to the contract, as well as looking at data analytics. How can we save more money? Because you got to remember, Blue Cross of Idaho is there to make a profit. Okay, that's what they are. They're a for-profit business. Okay, and so they're looking at ways to make the profit. They're looking at ways to squeeze the penny. How can we ask these questions? What can we do for our clients? Well, they have 150. Guess how many we have? We have one. We have one. We have the same amount of people. Okay, approximately the same amount of people that we're serving. We have one person to do what they were doing with the 150. So they asked for 60. We said, no, that's too many. We gave them 15. Okay, but again, did we grow the government? Yeah, we did. Paid by 15 on that one.
Yeah, but if you have an extra 15 looking at those contracts and trying to save money, aren't you saving money overall?
That's the idea. We believe that we will save money overall in the long run. Looking at those contracts, the contracts that we have with the VCOs, the doctors, the providers, the MCOs, we believe that we will save money with having those 15 on there. So I think that's a good thing.
So it's not really growing the government. It's
no,
again saving the taxpayers
saving
money overall.
Saving your money. Okay. Maybe another example is again the Department of Transportation budget I talked about a little bit earlier. They asked for 53 new employees. Well, off the bat, you say, no way you're getting 53 new employees. That's just wrong. Well, I started looking at that. Again, I did my research. I did my homework on this budget. I know it inwards and backwards and forwards and everything about it. They asked for 53 new employees. And I started looking at that. In the year 2010, since the year 2010, Idaho Transportation Department has given back 185 full-time positions. In other words, they didn't fill it. They said, state of Idaho, we don't need it. Take those back. Don't allocate us. We're going to give you back 185 positions that you've allocated for us. So they gave those back.
So they were honest because they could have kept them.
Yeah.
All right. So they said, we don't need those positions right now. Here you go. Take them back.
And what's happened the last 5 or 6 years in Idaho?
People have found out about us and they're moving in.
They are. And so we have a huge population growth. which means more cars on the road, more miles on the road, more wear and tear,
More potholes,
more roads, more highways,
more needs, more
bigger, wider
needs.
infrastructure needs. And so they said, hey, we got to have some people. We need 53 new employees. And so I supported it. So yeah,
That makes
we
sense.
grew 53. Okay, again, you got to think about Idaho growing. It's like a farmer. A farmer has all his equipment to take care of 1,000 acres. And he says, you know what? I'm going to grab another 1,000 acres. And so now I'm up to 2,000 acres. Can he farm 2,000 acres on his same budget? Can he farm 2,000 acres with the same equipment? No. He's got to grow in order to take that. And so we have, but it is very, very limited. I believe that there is a need for government, but I believe that it should be the lightest touch of government possible. Get rid of the red tape. Let capitalism take its form. Let the consumers and the supply and demand run those things and get the government out of there. And so we really tried, as a chairman of the Commerce and Human Resource Committee, that's one of my big jobs, is to say, what can I do? What can I do to create an environment where businesses can flourish in Idaho? And so that's what I worked on. So I truly believe and have worked hard to limit the growth of government. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
okay.
All right. Well, so let's talk about your passion. What have you done for education? Because you always are like, I'm pro-education. I'm this, I'm that with education. And I know that truly is where your passion is.
It is. And I'll tell you one reason is because, again, not yesterday, but the week ago, Friday, I actually went in and read with some students again, 8th grade students. Had a great time. If you've got an hour a week that you're like, I don't know what to do with, go volunteer at your schools. Just go read with them. They're not going to put you completely out of your comfort zone. These kids are awesome. You just sit down and read with them. Or if you're a mathematician, sit down and do some math with them, or a scientist or whatever, but help them out. I promise you the teacher's not going to give you calculus if you don't know calculus and say, go help these kids.
Thank goodness.
They're just not going to. They want you to be successful too. It's their kids. And so it's a great opportunity. But I am passionate about education. And so what have we done? It says, well, just kind of overall, the last 5-6 years, I think, in education, we have moved more than $1 billion, increased the budget by $1 billion. Now, that's not a blank check. It's $1 billion, but we have had accountability. We have looked at what they're doing and how to improve it. And we're trying to improve education. And though there's some that believe that we shouldn't have public education. And so it's a battle in session to get some of these bills through and to be able to help our teachers and to help our educators and our children in the classroom. And it takes money. But I believe it's more than just money, though. We got to keep great teachers, and we have some great teachers.
We have phenomenal teachers. We really do.
And yeah, there are some bad teachers. There's bad politicians. There's bad policemen. There's bad in everything. But you can't paint all teachers with this broad brush and throw them all under the bus, because it's just not true. We've got some incredible teachers, and so please don't do that. But anyway, let's talk about what we did. So the launch bill, as the chairman of Commerce and Human Resource, my job was to try and create an infrastructure, okay, roads and bridges, and invest money into electrical grid, into water treatment, universities, so that we can have something here that you can get your product to market or get the consumer to your brick and mortar building or whatever it is, whether that's the internet or a brick and mortar building. That was part of the Commerce and Human Resource Committee, was to try and do that. Okay, along with that, I think we've done a good job. In fact, we are on the last tranche of maintenance for our bridges that were so worn down and out of shape. So we've taken care of all that. That infrastructure is there. But the number one infrastructure that businesses are complaining about right now is workers.
Yeah.
Educated, trained, skilled workers. So what does the launch bill do? Well, the launch bill has been around for 5 or 6 years, okay? And it has proven successful. The launch bill helped people that got out of high school, kind of fell off the radar, lived on the beach, wherever, or lived in their mom and dad's basement. And then after several years, they went, you know what, I got to get a life. I got to go get a job. Got to get an education. Got to do something. And so the launch bill then was to help them get back on the radar and get a job. And so what it did, those who successfully finished the launch program, they increased their income by 16 grand, $16,000 a year. That took them from being a social taker to a community contributor. Okay, that's what Launch does. So it's successful. We said, okay, what can we do? Can we move that down to the high school level and help our high school kids? Because in so many years, at least in my generation, if you didn't go to college, then you would kind of look like a second-rate citizen. Like, go away. You're not helping our community, and that's not true. And so we've put a lot of money into helping getting our CTE programs up to speed, and this launch bill will do that. It will help kids get an education so that they're well trained and educated. You know,
yeah, college isn't for everyone.
It's not.
I mean, it's not. It's the trades that Idaho needs, and it's the trades that
nurses,
a lot of people do.
Truck drivers,
welders,
all of those things. But it also helps them get into the sciences and everything else, okay? Some of those that want to go farther into a 4-year degree. You know, right now, the major part of the engineers and scientists at INL and what's the big technology company in Boise? Keep forgetting that. Micron. They're hiring people from out of state. Well, my dream is to fill every Idaho job with a well-trained, skilled, educated Idaho student. Yeah, that's what I want to do. And Launch is going to help us do that. So that's a great bill. Okay, the facilities bill, another one that helps our education. Okay, the facilities bill makes $1 billion available for our school districts to build facilities.
Wait, per district?
No. But I'll tell you what our district gets. So Idaho Falls District 91, they'll get $39 million worth of from bonding. They'll get $39 million from the state. That's $39 million that you don't have to pay in property tax and levies and supplements and bonds.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay? That's $39 million to the District of 91. District 93, you guys out in Ammon, okay, they're going to get $48 million. That's what they get. Okay, and that's over the course of 10 years. Okay, but that's not all. They're going to get District 91 is going to get $2.7 million. And again, that's to help them pay down their existing bonds, supplementals, levies, whatever they've got. And if they don't have any of that, then they can take that money and put it in a savings account for facilities. Okay?
Like to build a new school?
Yeah. The District 93, they'll get $3.6 million. Okay, now here's the other really cool thing about this bond is I love sports. I know you love sports. You were a cheerleader. Yeah.
I love sports. I can't play sports, but I love
and she cheered, and she was a great cheerleader. Okay, but this money can't be used to go out and build a complex, a tennis court or swimming pool or baseball diamond or football stadium. It can't be used for that. This is used for education. Okay, it's used for education, primarily education, not for athletics. And in my opinion, that's a good thing. I don't believe grandma and grandpa should be having to pay for athletic facilities.
Well, they're important, but there's just such a small percentage that participate in sports. Okay, so I have a question. Why is one district getting so much more than the other district? What's that based on?
It's based on students, number of students.
Oh, okay.
So District 93 is a lot bigger than 91, so that's why they're getting more money.
Okay, that makes sense.
Facilities bill is incredible. It's going to save you money indirectly. But now the big question that I've asked before is, well, wait a minute. What makes you think that you should be taking my taxpayer money and building a facility in my area? And I says, I'm not. Okay. You still have a skin in the game. You still will have a bond that you'll have to vote for or vote against and be educated on, because this is not enough money to say, okay, District 91, here's all the money you need to build all of your high schools and your elementary schools. It's not there. Okay, it should give them about between 40 and 50%, okay, of money to build that. They're still going to have to go out, and you're still going to have skin in the game and work together as a district and as a community to build that. And I think, again, that's a good thing. it's a good thing that we're all involved. So
Keep us
that's what we're doing.
accountable.
I think it's a good thing.
All right. Well, you've been very long-winded today.
Sorry.
We should probably let him get back to this beautiful Saturday.
Yes, but it is. The election's coming up. You got 10 days.
10 days.
You can go and vote early if you want. Monday morning, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 p.m., Monday through Friday.
Just at the Bonneville County Election Office. Just
Yep.
Google it.
So it's 497 North Capitol Avenue, or you can call. Got your
Or
pencil?
just Google it.
Or just Google it. All right.
Okay.
Hey, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for joining us. And if you have questions about anything at all, just reach out. We're happy to answer them. Kevin tries to be an open book. He truly does. Don't believe all the propaganda. Just ask.
And you're not going to agree with everything I vote on, and you're not going to agree with everything that you want either. And on a bill, I've never seen a bill that's 100% good. All bills, there's not a perfect bill. And so weigh out the difference and say, okay, this guy is close enough to where I want to be. But I just want you to know that I am a true red, fiscal conservative Republican. And I believe in being accountable to your money and to you. And so I'm asking you to consider voting for me on May 21st, or if you go out early and vote, I'd ask you to consider voting for me. So in this short, join the movement, join us, and together we will put Idaho first. Thank you.
See you guys.